Good evening and welcome to Hudson Valley Week in Review, where we look back at the people, places, and issues making news in Ulster County and the region. I'm Amy Greene. We begin tonight in Kingston, where Ulster County Executive Michael Hein is launching a new initiative that aims to improve the quality of life for residents and their pets. The multifaceted initiative builds upon the success of both the recently opened county-wide dog park in New Paltz and the newly signed anti-tethering law. As part of the initiative, the county executive, along with the New York State Humane Society of the United States, the Ulster County SPCA, for Paws in Ulster, and other animal protection organizations are developing several components such as a shelter and safe boarding, an animal abuse registry, an animal abuse prevention advisory task force as well. Michael Hein recently held a press conference pinpointing all of the details about the new Animal Abuse Protection Initiative. Here now, some of those highlights.
This is really an awakening in Ulster County government, a true understanding of the importance of building a better Ulster County and addressing important quality of life issues, and that includes animal protection in our community. We're excited to be able to talk about a number of initiatives that we're going to be moving forward with today, but I also think it makes sense for us to talk about some exciting accomplishments that have already taken place. Working with partners like Four Paws and obviously the town of New Paltz, the county of Ulster now has an Ulster County dog park, and it has been wildly successful. We couldn't be more pleased by it, and really a testament to hard work and a commitment to getting it right. Working with our partners in the legislature, we've moved forward with anti-tethering legislation to make sure that there isn't abusive and harmful tethering situations doing damage within our community, and we're providing tools to law enforcement to make sure that our animals are protected. But it also opened up a broader discussion. And that broader discussion really has to do with how do we make sure that we're responsible? How do we make sure that we take care of those situations that may not jump to mind immediately? And I'll give you a good example. Unfortunately, in domestic violence situations, what we are seeing is a large percentage of victims entering shelters reporting that their partner either injured, maimed, or killed their pet. There's an unquestioned link between violence with animals and violence with people. And so the big question is, how do we make sure that anyone who is in an abusive relationship has the ability to be able to find safe haven and also ensure that there is safe shelter for their family pet that they love and care for? Statistics show 59% of domestic violence abuse victims report delaying leaving the home out of fear of leaving their pets behind. I'm proud to say that working with Michael Berg and family of Woodstock, we've been able to now create a situation where victims of domestic violence do not have to delay leaving violent situations, and instead can be assured not only will they be safe, but their pets will be safe as well. That's new for Ulster County, and I couldn't be more proud, and it's really a testament to family of Woodstock as an incredible partner. And Michael, again, I want to say thank you very much for that. Really, it's an amazing job. Thank you. I also think it's important that we recognize that information is incredible power. Information is important when it comes to making sure that our communities remain safe. And so I look forward to working with partners in the Ulster County Legislature on an animal abuse registry. If your neighbor has been convicted of violent crimes against animals or neglecting animals and causing severe damage, you have every right to know, especially as a pet owner yourself. And so I look forward to working with our legislative partners on an animal abuse registry for Ulster County and making sure that we get this right. But there's so much more. And it moves across an entire spectrum. From a public health perspective, we're talking about now instituting a humane campaign to slow the growth of feral cat colonies. We are working with SPCA and working through our health department because we understand how important this is in so many communities. The reality is, oftentimes, left unchecked, these cat colonies can grow exponentially and carry rabies and other very serious diseases, and there's ways to humanely address this. And so we're looking forward to working with the SPCA on what's called a TNR, or Trap, Neuter, and Return campaign. I'm excited about what this means in Ulster County. Again, an enormous leap forward in animal protection within our community and as a public health initiative as well. Now, what I have talked about, both the feral cat program as well as the domestic violence solutions and the animal abuse registry, are all part of what I believe is, again, an awakening in Ulster County about how to build a better Ulster County, how to make sure that we have greater quality of life for both individuals and our family pets. And so, to do that, I've asked a group of individuals to come together in an animal abuse prevention task force to ensure that all the things that we do are both thoughtful, responsible, and effective. And so I'd also like to take a moment this morning, or this afternoon, and announce the members of the task force that I'm speaking of. Serving the county executive's office to make sure that we can make those decisions thoughtfully is Dr. Beth Alden. She will be chairing this committee. Dr. Beth Alden is joining us in the center here. She is both the head of the Vet Tech program here at Ulster Community College, as well as a veterinarian locally. And again, she brings a great deal of expertise to the table. We really have an all-star team when you think about who we're talking about here. From the New York State Humane Society of the United States, Brian Shapiro as well agreed to serve on our committee. Merle Bornstein, local business owner and animal advocate extraordinaire. Is that what they should call you, Merle? I think that's a perfect way of saying it. Christine DeBoard, not only a board member for Four Paws of Ulster County, but again, an individual who I've worked shoulder to shoulder with to get important work done, and I owe her an enormous debt of gratitude for her efforts, and again, as do the entire community. Pat Falusik, New York State Humane Association Board, thank you so much, Pat, for everything. Again, she's been an amazing member of our community for a number of years. She's just extraordinary. Jill Schufelt from the Town of Rochester Animal Control Officer. Thank you very much, Jill, for joining us as well. Kitty Golson, a community advocate from Woodstock. And rounding out this absolute all-star team is Adam Saunders, the Executive Director of the SPCA for Ulster County. Again, Adam, thank you very much for agreeing to participate in this process. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an opportunity to get things right. Now, also joining us in the back is Dr. Carol Smith. Much of what we are talking about, especially through the feral cat program, will be running directly through our health department. We have an amazing Commissioner of Public Health who understands how many facets are in making sure that we get this right, and we're very lucky. But we're excited about what this means. It's an important step in the future of animal protection in Ulster County, and I believe what is critical is we will look back on this and think to ourselves, my goodness, how could this not have been for so many years? But we're going to do extraordinary work together, and I'm excited. And again, I look forward to working with our partners in the legislature in making sure that we protect our family pets, and also we really make and build a better Ulster County. Thank you very much.
The county executive also took some time after the press conference to speak with us about other specific details related to the initiative. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think it's really important to understand that Ulster County is continuing to evolve. As we work to build a better Ulster County, that includes quality of life issues, including protections for our animals. I think it's important to understand, we see all the time cases that come across the news, and they're just devastating. Situations where individuals who were facing domestic violence abuse stayed behind because they were worried about their pets. Or worse even yet, is a situation where an abuser will use the pet as leverage to make sure that their victim stays behind. This provides a real way out for people, a real opportunity so that they can not only have a pathway to a better life, but also don't have to give up the beloved family pet in the process. It's a shelter for both them as well as shelter for their pet as well. Well, it's important to understand we have a zero-tolerance policy for people who both abuse animals or abuse individuals in a domestic violence situation. We are very clear about this. We prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. But it's important to understand as we move through this process, we want to make sure that we get people who are victims of domestic violence who have pets out of there as quickly as possible so they start a new life. really comes in so many different forms, but obviously it's the physical abuse of the animal, but it's also severe neglect of an animal that would cause it great harm. Well, I'd love to see it never be necessary. That's the most important thing. I'd love to see situations in a community where there is no domestic violence. I'd love to see situations in a community where this shelter goes completely unutilized. But I know that that's not true. We see case after case, and there are rising cases of domestic violence throughout the entire nation. And so this is about being intelligent and thoughtful as we move through this. And it also means moving forward with legislation that is, again, thoughtful and intelligent, and that is things like animal abuse registries, so that people can know if there's a convicted abuser of animals living right next door to them.
When we return, we take a look at 2 new exhibits being displayed at the Ulster County office building in recognition of a very important anniversary for Kingston. We'll be right back.